Assalamualaikum and greetings. I wish to the examiner and my supervisor. My name is Muhammad Adil Fikri bin Johari, matrix number 72385. Today, I'm going to present my final year project 2 presentation, which is given a title Saga, Encoding the Structures of Historical Document Using TI XML Schema, which is under Dr. Suhaila binti Sai supervision. As an overview, Sarawak Gazette is the oldest newspaper published in Sarawak which comprises of rich historical information related to Sarawak and as essential source of historical information on Sarawak affairs. Previously, a project to create a website for Sarawak Gazette named as eSarawak Gazette was conducted as an initiative to preserve Sarawak Gazette collection digitally. However, the current version of the digital format of Sarawak Gazette collection is saved as PDF image form. This caused limitation to explore the enriched content of the historical document. Therefore, this project aims to discover and retrieve the information from the Saga collection and perform text encoding to discover meaningful context contained in the historical document. The main goal of this project is to encode the structure of Sarawak Gazette using TI XML schema. For the problem statement, previously, the final product is in the form of inline XML format, which the annotated data need to be encoded into a standard encoding practice known as Text Encoding Initiative, TEI. Several steps are required to transform the available data into a form of required data that fit the standard format for encoding the text to preserve Saga collection digitally, mainly in the form of TI XML format. For the objective of this research project, first is to perform optical character recognition (OCR) and name entity recognition (NER) process to transform the PDF image form of Sarawak Gazette into searchable PDF format and XML format which contain annotated markup. Next, to create and encode a structured form of TI XML file format consists of annotated markup based on TEI guideline for the purpose of indexing and search functionality. Lastly, to test and validate the TI XML schema prepared based on the standard element tags and attributes in TI guideline and visualize the encoded layout structure of TEI. Initially, the PDF of Saga is in the image form which causes limitation to explore the content of Saga. Thus, OCR and NER process is performed to transform the data into XML inline file consists of annotated markup. The annotated inline XML is well formed, however it needs to be transformed into TI XML format, which is a standard that are widely used in the field of digital humanities for preserving manuscripts. The process of encoding the TI of Saga is performed in Oxygen XML editor by using tag elements and attribute that fits the requirement of this project and validated against the TI standard. Once the TI is validated, ExistDB and TI Publisher is utilized to test the functionality of the TI. The structure of the encoded TI can also be viewed in the TI Publisher. Encoding the TI for Saga. To encode the TI file for Saga, Oxygen XML editor is used to encode the TI using tag elements and attributes based on the TI standard that fits the requirement of this research project. Previously, the inline XML are annotated based on categories such as person, place, date, organization, and event. These tags need to be encoded using element tags based on TI standard. The element tags and attribute used are such as date tag, person name tag, place name tag, organization name tag, and event. The purpose of encoding the TI using this tag is to ensure that it fits the standard practice of encoding to create meaningful historical context of the text. This is the comparison between the inline XML format and TI with validation errors. On the left view, the figure shows inline XML file consists of annotated markup viewed in Oxygen XML editor. The inline XML is well formed, however, it needs to be transformed into TI format. On the right side is the TI file with validation errors using text from previous inline XML file. Thus, the annotated tag previously need to be transformed using tag elements and attribute based on TI guidelines. The structure of TI Saga comprises of two main structures, which is the TI header and TI text. The TI header comprises of information and metadata as well as its source about the publication itself, as for the TI text comprise of the content of Saga. For TI header structure, it comprises of element tags such as file description, which comprise of full bibliographic description of the electronic file, and comprise of other tags such as title STMT, publication STMT, distributor availability, source description, and that tag. For the structure of the TI tags, it comprises of all the content of Saga enclosed within the body tag. For the division, we can divide into several sections using div tag. Div tag is used to mark up the element within a particular section. P tag is used to mark the paragraph, and all the phrase level are enclosed within a paragraph. Element tags such as date, person, place name, or RG name, and event are enclosed within P tag. For the page break, is used to indicate the beginning of a new page and marks the boundary between one page and a new page. For the column break, it is used to mark the beginning of the next new column of the content. It is used to divide the section into columns in a page. Lastly, line break is used to mark the beginning of a new line. The TI Publisher tool is used to test the encoded TI for Saga. It is an application package in ExistDB, and it is used to work with the prepared TI to test the functionality and view the structural layout of the encoded TI document. Two encoded TI documents are utilized to be tested in the TI Publisher, which are issue number 1083 and issue number 1084. The figure displays the result of meshing document with keyword Serian as input for the query in TI Publisher. Two documents with meshing keywords are found, which are issue number 1083 and 1084. The figure shows the layout of the transcription of the encoded TI viewed in the TI Publisher. The layout view are displayed by pages, and the structure are displayed as two-column section as in the original document. The document can be downloaded into different formats such as XML, PDF, EPUB, and others. The figure shows the option for downloading the type of file format. The significance of encoding the TI. By creating a structured TI representation, the content and layout structure of the Saga document are captured in a machine-readable form, enabling long-term preservation and future accessibility. By encoding different elements within the text, such as place name, person name, organization name, date, and event, targeted searches and analysis can be performed, saving time and efforts in locating specific information within the document. TI facilitates the extraction and analysis of specific textual element and metadata. It is also used for metadata, transcription, detailed description, and data linking. For the project limitation, the scope of the encoded tag element and attributes deployed are limited to 5 name entities annotated previously and certain structural layout. The encoded TI can be further improved by adding other tags besides the element tag deployed previously. Next is missing of some data throughout the data transformation process from the initial source. For instance, mislook or misspelled data in the previous data affect the analysis of data in the next steps. Lastly, unexplored aspect of text, which some information and text may need to be assigned with specific TI element tags. In conclusion, encoding the Saga collection using TI XML schema is a first step towards automatic retrieval of data from the historical document. By encoding elements such as person name, place name, organization name, date, and event, The TEI markup provides contextual information within the text. By encoding the structure of Saga using TEI, it provides a way of retrieving meaningful information for analysis and structuring the layout of the document. For future works, the attribute and element used can be further customized according to the requirement intended for specific purpose of the upcoming project. The encoded TEI XML document can be further improved by adding and editing new tag and element attribute based on required needs. The TEI XML document can be utilized to work with different tools and systems for specific projects based on TEI XML data. Data visualization from the TEI XML data can be performed and further explored.
Next, I'm going to demo the encoding process to encode the TEI of Sarawak Gazette. Here, Oxygen XML editor is used to encode the structure of the TEI document. The TEI document for Sarawak Gazette comprised of two main structure, which is the TEI header and the text. The TEI header comprised of the information about the publication and the metadata about the TEI file itself and its sources. As for the text, it's comprised of the content of the text transcribed from the Saga document. For the TEI header structure, it consists of file description tag, which contain the full bibliographic description of the electronic file. In the file description, it has title STMT tag, publication STMT tag, and source description tag. For the title STMT tag, it describes the title of the publication, and the publication STMT tag contains information about the publication details, including the distributor, availability, and the date of the publication. For the distributor, it supplies the agency responsible for the distribution of the text. The availability provides details on text accessibility, such as its copyright status, and the date is used to mark the date of the published manuscript. For the source description, it contains the description of the source, such as information and source of the manuscript. Next, for the structure of the TEI text content, the TEI text tag will comprise of the body and each division section. For each division section, the div tag is used to mark up the content within a particular section. For example, div tag type equals to page 2 indicates a div section for the second page. PB tag, which is a page break tag, is used to indicate the page break, which marks the beginning of a new page and marks the boundary between one page and the next page. For instance, page break ends equals to 136 here indicates the page number, which is 136. Page break tag element is placed at the top or beginning of the page regardless of the position of the printed page number in the printed source. Next, line break tag is used to mark the beginning of a new line. Next, for the structure of the TEI text content, the TEI text tag will comprise of the body and each division section. For each division section, the div tag is used to mark up the content within a particular section. For example, div tag type equals to page 2 indicates a div section for the second page. PB tag, which is a page break tag, is used to indicate the page break, which marks the beginning of a new page and marks the boundary between one page and the next page. For instance, page break ends equals to 136 here indicates the page number, which is 136. Page break tag element is placed at the top or beginning of the page regardless of the position of the printed page number in the printed source. Next, line break tag is used to mark the beginning of a new line. This is the examples of the inline XML file from issue number 1084, which is Sarawak Gazette issue published on 2nd July 1948. Here, the document is well formed in the XML format. However, it is not validated against the TI XML schema. Therefore, we need to transform it into a TI XML format that is validated against the TI tag elements. To create a TI for Sarawak Gazette, we use Oxygen XML editor to encode the structure of the TI for Sarawak Gazette. First, to create the file, we need to create a new file using TEI all template to create a basic file template for Sarawak Gazette. Upon creating a new TEI file, it will automatically generate the basic structure of a TEI document file. Here, we need to integrate the content that we have previously in the form of inline XML format and transfer the content that we have annotated earlier into the TEI file that we have created. Now, we need to transfer all the content in the inline XML format into a TEI file that we have created earlier. Now, we copy all the content from the previous data that we have into a body tag which is comprised of the content of the Sarawak Gazette. After copying the content from the inline XML file into the created TEI file, a validation error will appear due to element paragraph tag. The paragraph tag is not found in the TI element tag. Therefore, we need to change it into a P tag, which is aligned with the TI standard of encoding. Now, a new validation error appears as the tag that we have used previously, such as location, date, organization, person, and event, does not align with the TI standard of encoding practice. Therefore, here, for instance, we can change the location tag into a TI standard tag, which is place name. And one of the validation error will be radius. Here, same goes for the date. We can change it into small letter date tag, which is used
in the TI standard of encoding. Another example for person tag. Person tag, we can change it into person name tag to fit the TI standard. And for the organization, we can change it into org name tag to fit the TI standard. And the validation error will be reduced as the tag that we use fits and align with the TI standard tag. Besides that, the div tag, page break tag, column break tag, and line break tag is used to structure the layout of the Saga TI. And when all the element tag is aligned with the TI standard for encoding, it will display a validation successful, which indicates all the element tag and attribute that deployed align with the TI standard of encoding. After the encoded TI that we have done previously is validated successfully against the TI element tag, we can then upload it into TI Publisher. TI Publisher is used for working with the prepared TI to test the functionality and view the structural layout of the encoded TI document. It is an application package in ExistDB. Here, two uploaded TI documents are tested for its functionality and the structural layout of the encoded TI. Next, after the encoded TI is prepared and successfully validated against the TI element tag, we can upload it into TI Publisher in ExistDB to test the functionality and view the structural layout of the encoded TI document. TI Publisher is used to test the encoded TI for Saga. It is an application package in ExistDB. Two encoded TI documents of Saga are uploaded in the TI Publisher, which are issue number 1083 and issue number 1084. When we try to enter a search query, for instance, we enter Serian, it will display the results of two matching documents found, which are issue number 1083 and 1084, which contain matching keyword Serian in the documents. Now, we can also view the transcription of the encoded TI of Saga document by clicking the link. Here, it will display the encoded layout structure of the TI document. The layout view are displayed by pages, and the structure is displayed as two-column section as in the original document. The document can also be downloaded into various different formats such as XML, PDF, EPUB, and others. Here, it shows the option for downloading the type of the file format. That's all for my presentation today. With that, thank you.